So we'd like to introduce you to our very good friend, Hernan Cattaneo, who's been a long-time friend of ours. Ooh, showing our age really now, aren't we, Hernan?
Hey guys, great to talk to you, and super happy
time,
to be on this project. Yes, long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because when Dave and I were first kind of getting the 36 dB thing together, you know, of course we had a few names that we'd definitely wanted to collaborate with, and yours was definitely one of the first that came up, you know, because we've been following what you've been doing for a long time, and you know, what you and Nick have been doing as well, you know, with the Soundgarden thing, and you know, the size of the productions of what you guys do now is really a testament to your careers, you know what I mean, and where you've kind of got to as DJs and as artists, you know. So
musically
for us,
as well,
it was just a great opportunity. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, sorry. Musically as well, it was definitely something that we thought, apart from it being good music, that it would fit in with what we were doing, and obviously with you playing some of our music over the years, Hernan, we thought it would be a great idea to work on something together.
Yeah, of course, you know, first let me thank you, like, you know, it's an honor for me that you guys invited me to be part of the project, you know, the same way you maybe be following what I been doing in the last 20 years as a DJ, you know, I was following what you guys we were doing in production, you know, through many outputs you guys have, you know, from working with Sasha or Centre or whatever you guys have been doing. Always been in touch, you know, and not only just supporting the music, but also, you know, there's from all the universal, the universe of producers, you know, there are some you get more interest than others, you know, and you guys, you always been super respected by me and by all my friends, you know, and always been like, you know, oh, these guys, you know, so it's great to be together working on this.
Yeah. So I mean, give us a bit of a background of where your kind of career first kind of took off, because I know it was a chance meeting and playing with Mr. Oakenfold, wasn't it? That kind of opened a bit of a door for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was kind of like in the middle of my career. My early stages was, of course, in Argentina, you know, playing in clubs, doing all the hard work of trying to introduce club music to a rock and Latino music country. There were a bunch of like 10 DJs like me that we were all, they were the ones we were traveling and hearing house music, progressive music, melodic music outside, and then coming back to the country and trying to introduce that. It took a while, and right up when we were just doing kind of well in Argentina, it was that day when I had the chance to open for Paul Oakenfold. He was about to become like the first superstar DJ, and went from playing clubs to stadiums, and the lucky I was that you know, he was looking for an opener, and he liked what I did for him, and he invited me to join him on tour for the world, which I never did before. You know, there was never an Argentinian DJ traveling out, actually not even South Americans. Most DJs of the scene, probably you guys know, they were, you know, from Europe or from the US. So it was a massive opportunity for me. I only thought, okay, I'm going with Paul for 6 months, then come back to Argentina and see how it goes. And I end up coming back to Argentina 15 years later. So that I worked for 1 year with Paul around the world, and then his agency in the UK offered me to move to England and have my own international career, which is something that I only dream about, but never thought it was going to be possible. But you know, back then there was a huge difference on how UK and US scene was developed compared to South America. So as soon as I was, it's like a football player. The moment they sell you to play in Europe, you know, you start playing Premier League, you know, or the Liga or whatever country you are, you know, there's a big upgrade on everything. And that was the same for me, and was a big push. I was super enthusiastic. I didn't have a wife, I didn't have kids, so it was just the perfect moment for me. So I moved to London, and I started playing for Cream in Liverpool and Ibiza, which Cream at the time was a very big brand. Then, you know, and suddenly start sharing stages with Sasha and Dewey, and you know, and Paul, you know, and all these guys, you know, and that's where I met Nick. Where since then I've been working a lot with him. So it was like a one of those moments, you know, like I was in the right time and the right place, you know, and of course a total life changer for me. And then since then, I've been having, let's say, the side of my career that everybody knows, doing CDs for Renaissance and, and playing with the guys, and being part of the some people like to call it progressive house thing, other people say melodic, other people say whatever, but this kind of sound that we all like and play.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a theme to it, isn't there? You know what I mean? And you and Nick have both got very similar tastes as well. So as much as like you look at John and Sasha, I mean, you and Nick, really had this kind of musical bond, didn't you? So it was always a relationship that was going to flourish, just because, you are good friends as well. But it's all about the music, isn't it? And the way they relate with each other and stuff. So yeah, it's been great.
It's funny, like, Nick was a big DJ. He was resident at Cream when I entered as how you say, like a new guy. So he was already a star. He was doing the Way Away stuff. He was doing the Back to Mine stuff. He was a super big DJ on the league of the other guys when I was a newcomer. But we clicked super well. He was very generous to open doors for me and treat me like one of us. Same like the other guys. I remember like. One day I was talking to Anthony Papa, which was the superstar of Australia, and he said, I don't know what we were talking about. He said to me, "Hernan, you are one of us now." And I got like goosebumps, like what he's talking about. I never considered myself on their level. Yeah. And I say, Anthony, what are you saying? But then everybody, all those guys were super generous to me, and they were helping me. And of course, I know at the same time that, I was kind of representing South America, which was like a great market for them. Especially in terms of love of the music, they all realized very, very quick. All those DJs that whenever they would come to play in South America, especially in Argentina, people would love them. So it was like a super nice bond from the beginning. I would say late 90s, early 2000s, till now. Yeah. We're still playing together, and we having always a great time.
I think everyone's got a good Nick Warren story about them helping them out in some way, right? I mean, I can remember.
He is the oldest man in electronic music, I think, isn't he?
But he's also, I think he's also one of the, I remember back in the day, when you're struggling to kind of get your music out there. I remember Nick being one of the few people that would always get back to you about what you'd done, and if you bumped into him on the road or something, he would always come and say hello, and he I don't. Nick's definitely played a big part in my career for sure.
No, everybody in this scene owns a big part of in Nick. He's a super nice guy. We've been playing together for 20 years. I have super laugh and always play quality music. We don't play exactly the same sound, but very similar, so go along very well together. And not many people expect this, but we never ever talk about music. We never plan nothing. The only rule is that
that's what you call a DJ, Hernan. That's a lost art these days. That's a DJ.
Yeah. The only rule is that we like to play 3 tracks each, just to keep the flow. Cool. So and normally he starts because he's very good on setting up the group. Normally I take like half an hour to set up the group properly, and he does it like in 10 minutes. So it's better for him to do it. He's a master of that. And he brings super fun to the party. We enjoy super nice together. I think Nick and Danny Howells, they are the 2 nicest guys in the business.
No doubt.
I saw the video of you and Nick following Sasha and John in Tomorrowland.
That's Amsterdam. Amsterdam and Loveland, not to Loveland.
Loveland. Sorry, that looked amazing. I mean, you could see Nick go straight into it as well.
Yeah, it was such a treat for the clubbers also, because they love what the guys play, and they love what we play, and it's not very usual we play all the 4 all in a row, so it was. And after that, they were taking pictures, and those pictures were around on the internet for 2 weeks, like, the 4 guys, together,
I saw that.
It's a rarity to see, like that. That's what I thought was really quite exceptional about it.
Exactly. Like, it's nice that after so long, we're still around. We're still rocking festivals around the world every week. It's kind of very rewarding.
Well, I think a lot of that as well. I mean, like from looking at the like Cordoba that you've been doing down in Argentina, and a lot of the events that you've kind of been building with crews and your team and stuff. I mean, they're really massive productions now, aren't they? I mean, it's super impressive.
It's interesting you say that because like since of course in Argentina I'm like a very popular. We luckily we get the people support and we sell the tickets. Whatever amount of tickets we put on sale, we sell them, and that gives you great support, but also a responsibility to say, okay, now let's say 6 months in advance you sell all these tickets for the show. Okay, now you have to deliver. Now not the pressure, but the responsibility is on you to deliver a great show. And as everybody in the industry, we all know that the most difficult part of the show is like how much money you're gonna invest, because you never know how much you're going to recoup of that or how much you're going to lose of that. We all know those stories. So having this big, massive support from the Argentinian crowds that they always buy all the tickets, give us, especially Cruz, the promoter, or BMP, the other promoters, or Folk, the other guys that I work with, they give the chance to invest heavily on the show because they have the support already, They don't have that kind of struggle that whenever they don't know how it's going to be. These shows in the last 6-7 years, they've been always amazing, always sold out, very quick. So again, that gives us the responsibility to deliver a great show. And you can guys imagine how proud I am to be bringing in my own country the biggest shows or the most the better shows of the country are made on my own. By me. I've been many years living internationally, and for many years people are thinking, oh, why you don't you play like you play internationally? Why you don't these shows here in Argentina? But now we are doing it. Now we have the support, so we are super happy to give back to the crowd.
I mean, every time I've been down there as well, it's been a few years, but I've always been just super impressed of the energy of the crowd. I mean, they give so much feedback to the people who perform. I mean, it's brilliant. I remember being there with John and Sasha one year, a few years back, and it started raining, and there's like 27,000 people and not a soul moved. If anything, it got more pumped, and they were just soaking wet, and they did not care. There was steam coming off the crowd. It was brilliant.
It actually can get even better. We are a very cool mix of mostly we are Europeans mixed with Latino. We are like a Latin Europeans, which is a cool mix because we have all that culture heritage, but we have the Latino spirit. So we are way more noisy than Europeans.
That's a good way to describe.
Yeah, and then all the South American countries, the same as most third world countries. The day-to-day life here is not as easy as Europe or the US. So people have a bigger need of expression and have a good time. So if they've been waiting for years to have Sasha and Dewey playing at the festival, not because it's a massive rain, they're gonna let that take away that moment from them. Quite the contrary, they're gonna make even a better moment. In other parts of the world, because I've been there, that suddenly start raining and half the people will leave. Yeah. And you go like, where you going? I have to play. But in South America, nobody would leave a party because they're gonna get wet. Because there's again, they've been waiting for their favorite DJ, whoever it is, to come. They have to work hard because tickets are very expensive for these big shows. So they give value to that. So they're not gonna leave because it's raining. You have to come with a gun for them to leave.
Hopefully not. Have Sasha and John been down there since they started playing and done shows together?
Yes, they keep coming all the time, sometimes together, sometimes on their own. But I did the big Mendoza show with Sasha back to back in the Andes near the lake, which is really, really incredible in Mendoza. That was an amazing show. We were worried because that day, that was during the last World Cup, and just before our set, it was the game France and England, and we were thinking, okay, France won that game, and we thought, okay, Sasha is gonna be in a really bad mood. How God knows how he will gonna play or not, and that. But he rocked it. He was luckily he wasn't that affected for that. We watched the game together, and then we went to play straight because we were like back. I mean, the hotel and the stage is like 100 meters away. Yeah. So we were watching the game with Sasha and all the other guys, wishing England to win. You know. Yeah, but
if it was a Liverpool game, he would have been really upset.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
he's the only man I know that he's.
No, and you know what's funny that back in that day, normally England and Argentina in football has a big rivalry, but now it's bigger with France. So because we lost with them one time, we won against the other time. This. That big rivalry between Messi and Mbappe, and all that. Yeah. So it's not really truly hate. It's just how you say the folk of the football. Like that. But it's fun. It's fun that But going back to the question, Sasha came and rocked it that time, and he keep coming all the time.
Yeah.
Cool.
People love that kind of UK sound from the late 90s. It's always been one of the most popular sounds in South America and in Argentina.
Right.
And it can be, like Sasha or John or Nick, or the younger guys from Israel, they all rock. Yeah, they are very, very popular.
Nice.
Right. So let's talk about the environment. When we first kind of started the project, when we were discussing kind of, what's Hernan's sound and what are we going to go for? I know there was some records that you pointed out that you were a big fan of at the time, and things that you were to give us a starting point or a sketch pad of where we should kind of lead into it. And I
think it started it started with that center thing, didn't it? That I think I sent you something that we didn't put out, and you said that we should do something like this. And I think
I remember perfectly.
We started on that kind of
why you never put your track? They're amazing. But you never put them out.
Do you know what the thing is we are every month, because we built up so many, we've got a release and pretty much a remix now every month, one mix and one original coming out for about 6 months now. So
amazing.
Without getting too sidetracked, it's just what it's like. You kind of we make so much music that,
well, if I have your talent, I would put 2 singles every week.
Wow, that's very nice of you to say, Hernan. I'll have a word with Dennis and tell him we need to up our game a little bit. But back to the environment. Yeah, I think we started off at that, and we did that. I think we started with the Solaris track, didn't we? Which is the houseier one.
House,
yes,
yeah.
And then I remember correctly, we were talking about doing something, because Baz and I were both fans of the Balance series that you did, where the first CD was a bit more mellow, and we were like, well, we should do something like that, because that's Hernan is all over that.
Yeah,
so,
we love that.
Yeah, so we started talking about we went back and forth a few times about doing something like that. And did we do the ambient or the down tempo one first? I can't remember.
I think it was the down tempo.
Down tempo, yes, it was the down tempo. And then you guys decided you were going to do like a bigger pack, and then came with the melodic mix.
Yeah, but that was your idea.
Well, the thing is, and this is a good, how you say, if you want to tell the people about this project, everybody knows. I'm just gonna repeat it, but I guess by this time everybody knows that you guys are the one that knows a lot about production, and I'm the guy that have good ideas about music. I'm mostly a DJ, but there was something that happened in the process that it would help anyone to understand how this is such a cool idea or project or environment to have on your place, which is that me, the non-production guy, the non-skilled guy, by trying to think about, okay, what we can do with this, we decided that, out of the down tempo and the ambient mix, there were a lot of music that with a proper groove and more fast, it would make a great mix, and that's how it came. So that keeps gives you, that tells you exactly about the possibilities that you can go with this. You have 5 different environments, but from each one of them, you can go from melodic even to techno if you want to, which is amazing, especially to guys like me, which were, again, we are not so, you know, the other day I was playing at home with one of the environments, and you know, start muting things and changing things, even without the knowledge. Again, I don't have that level, but even playing, I feel it would be like a Game Boy. You know, I click this, move that, and it went totally somewhere else, and it was very interesting. So
quickly,
I think,
right?
And this is the way it came out, the melodic mix, but it could have gone to any other mix, maybe an organic, you know, whatever mix, you know, or maybe you could took a bit of the big melodies and make it a bit more dubby melodic or dubby techno stuff.
Well, the one thing I think when we kind of started to get the melodic house mix together, you know, and we used the main kind of arpeggiated sequence, so the real melody, which was the key to that down tempo thing. I think once we started to build that with the pads and stuff, and we kind of readapted it to work with that break in the melodic house. I mean, it's such a massive moment in that track. And then when it dropped coming out of it, I mean, watching the videos of you playing it out, and it's pretty inspiring, really, just to see the reaction. And that whole section really is the ambient mix, just kind of honed in and made to work and just sculpted a little bit more. But, you know, the end result was something way bigger than we thought it was going to be.
Well, I remember when you suggested it, Hernan, and Baz and I were both like, well, that's such a good idea. And pretty much instantly, when we sped it up and put slightly different beats underneath it, we were both like, okay, this is going to be massive.
Yeah, this is more Hernan than anything, isn't it?
No, but I tell you, it is. But, you know, that's the thing that happens to me as a DJ many times. Like, I get sent tracks that the producer sent me, and I say, yeah, this is fine, but why don't you do this and that? Because we DJs, normally we know better than producers about how it works on the dance floor. And producers know way more, of course, the technical part, but also the musical part, you know? You guys create these amazing melodies, but sometimes, for example, maybe you two could have kept like the ambient mix as an ambient mix, and I said, well, there's a treasure hiding in here. We can do something with it, you know. And sometimes I talk also, because Nick also is a very musical guy in terms of that. And he sometimes play a track and he say, what is this? And he say, this little kid from Ireland, for example, send me this music, but it was beatless. And I say, no, you have. So we do that all the time. Not try to be in part of the project, just try to, for us, is to have a new track to play, and for the producers, it's a good way of getting more of amazing music, you know?
Well, feedback like that, I mean, for anyone, I mean, us as well, you know what I mean? I mean, for someone who's just kind of starting out and you can see that there's a real talent there. I mean, I know you and Nick, Sasha as well, you know, have got a real reputation of supporting young upcoming artists and giving them feedback, and that's gold to them, you know what I mean? So I mean, it's a two-way street, isn't it? You're getting something out of it because you're giving them a suggestion and they come back and you've got something unique that you're going to be the first one out there to play it, which is what a DJ wants to be, you know, and you've got something unique, but you're also helping this person get to a point where this track could be the next huge thing for them. And sometimes you need advice, you know. I mean, that's where a DJ mind comes into things more so than the production side of it, because you know what records fly when you're playing out, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, if it just did this. And sure enough, if they go and do it, it comes back and it's like, there you go.
I think,
told you.
I think that's what I think is exciting about what we've done together, is that, you know, no matter what level you're at, or, you know, where you fit into the kind of the styles that are in the environment, these are incredible tools for people who maybe are DJs that want to make music, or are, you know, musicians that, or producers that want to kind of learn about how, you know, making bigger or club tracks that are a lot more club friendly, because these have been basically through your head, Hernan. You've kind of gone this. So
and they've been road tested, you know.
They've been road tested as well. You know, you look at the videos, And you know, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. It's kind of, you know, yeah, it's exciting. I know Baz and I are both excited about what people are going to get up to with these environments.
I think at the same exactly, you know, the same way I felt when I started messing around at home. You know, I mean, I knew already because I went to the studio with you guys and you told me about these things. But it's not until when you sit down in your home, but you feel like you are at your studio, because any kid that at home, even like, as I said, I think the good thing also is that you can be like a total beginner. I mean, like mostly beginner. And you can get away with it doing something with this. It's not that you have to have a lot of knowledge. And then at the same time, if you have more loneliness, there's also, you know, the change and all that they are always interesting to have for. I was talking to the other day about this project with some guys that they already know what they're doing, but they still telling me, they were asking me about some features, when I say, yeah, you have this, you have that. So they were super interested. But again, the younger ones or the newcomers, you know, it's like, okay, we are in the studio with them, then we move and I say, okay, sit down, mess around, play around, whatever you want, try whatever you want, say what you like, delete what you don't, you know, and I think it's a great tool and a great thing to learn the whole process. Because we all know one of the things that, of course, you know, I'm super busy with DJing and family and all that. But even if I wanted to start the whole, and I know a thing or two about Logic, but if I have to start learning from scratch, it's kind of super time consuming and difficult. So this is like, okay, we meet you halfway. We give you, you know, all this. Of course, the more you change it, the better for you, if you know, for your results. But you don't have a hurry. Nobody's pushing you. You know, you just can start developing your extra skills on top of all the job you guys did.
Well, I think as well, because we've spent so much time and paid so much attention to the sounds, the processing, just that, you know, even the way things are compressed and the way things fit together. You can learn, you know, not only are they very useful, but you can learn a lot about how to build your own versions of these effects and this processing, because it's laid out in front of you, and you know that the compressors after the delay, or vice versa, or because there are so many different ways of processing these sounds, not only the presets on these sounds, but on the effects. I mean, I think you could probably come up with an infinite amount of combinations with everything that is going on in there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, you know, we've got our friend Alex who does videos for us, and he's done a little exploration kind of, you know, coming up with a track from scratch, and he gave himself an hour, and he's done a video which is going to be on the website. And he's really into his breaks, so he was drawn to the breaks mix. And, you know, he sped it up to, I think, 132 and changed the beats a bit and made it a bit more his own.
It's like a garage thing, isn't it?
It's like a garage two-step kind of thing. It's really cool. It's a very, very different approach than kind of what we do. But that's kind of the most exciting thing about it. It's going to be interesting to see what other people's reinterpretations of things are and how they, you know, develop them and make them their own. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see what people come up with, you know.
I think that's the coolest part of the project, that the new kids can go anywhere, you know, and they can come with something that, you know, maybe you only recognize some bits of it, but they did it because they started with this project.
Yeah.
So we're going to be inundated with about 1 million versions of each one of these tracks then, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah, but that's fine. You know,
we've done that for Sasha before, Dave, so we'll just let Sasha do it for us this time.
Yeah. No, but listen,
that's the exciting thing, right?
A few months ago, I gave away some stems for kids to participate in like a how you say, they could make mixes of that. Yeah. And I got sent like, I don't know, hundreds, but there were some that they were really, really good, and now they are out on a label. You know, it's a great, it's a big, big tool for newcomers.
Definitely.
I mean, like we're saying, you know what I mean? To think that, you know, what we've actually done and what we've created is is allowing someone to kind of find something about themselves they didn't know they were capable of. Like you were saying, you know, whether you're inexperienced or you are experienced or you're a pro, you know, I think there's something in there for everybody, you know, so it kind of opens a gateway for you to kind of really explore things, you know, ahead of your abilities, because so much of that's already been done within the groundwork. And like Dave says, you know, the only way you're going to learn is to get in there and get your hands dirty, and there's so much to play around with, you know. It's a real melting pot of ideas that you can just reinterpret, you know?
I've already had a few people, professional producers get in contact with me about wanting this environment early because they want to get the sounds or the effects, and I think that's probably, they probably heard you playing out the stuff, the tracks, Hernan, but also I think they just know that what they're going to get is going to be, you know,
it's way bigger than that. It's way more than that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm super happy to be on the project. And as I said, you know, I think it's going to be on all different levels of the production chains, you know, from newcomers to, you know, the people that they've been doing this for long, you know, they're always going to find something, because again, you know, not everybody works on your level, you know, so there's a lot of things that, you know, they are kind of like a best kept secrets about how to do this, how to do that, you know, how, you know, no, but it's amazing, you know.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's great you sharing the knowledge, you know, and for the younger people or the not so young people to be able to, you know, to learn from the masters, you know, how to do this, how to do that.